Okay, as promised, here's the video how to decorate these cups. What you will need is one of these cups from the Dollar Tree. Cricut Premium Permanent Vinyl in white. Thermolaminating pouches. Some infusible ink. Of course, a mat and your Cricut and design space. And then either an easy press or the auto press. And I also use a laminator, but this step can also be done with your press. So first things first, I'm going to get started heating this up, and at the same time cutting these two sides. Okay, I've pulled out one of these sheets, and all we need to do with this sheet is separate it. One of these corners we can separate it. Yep. Separate it. Then we're only going to need one of these halves, and we're going to cut this vinyl two sides so they're both the same size. And I like doing this by using my little Cricut cutter. Our design is going to be a little bit smaller, so we want to make sure that there is actually no vinyl exposed and all of the vinyl is covered by the laminating sheet. So that's one part. Now we have it lined up where we have both of these and they're exactly the same size. You can go ahead and use some heat tape to hold it together, which is something I generally tend to do, just to be on the safe side. Okay, now once this is hot and ready, we want to go ahead and run it through once to apply the thermolaminate to our adhesive vinyl. Make sure there's nothing stuck between these two layers, otherwise it's going to permanently stay in there. And this is the step that you can also do with your press, but I have learned it gives me a better, nicer, smoother finish if I do it with the laminator, and since I have it, I just have started using it. You do want to make sure none of the vinyl is exposed because it is going to melt otherwise. The thermolaminate is what will eventually take our infusible ink, and the adhesive is obviously what we are going to stick onto our cup and which is going to make it hold on our cup. And as I had mentioned, I just used some of the Cricut infusible ink tape to hold these two pieces together as they're going through here, so I don't have to worry about them misaligning. And here we have it, our finished thing. As you can see, got caught kind of here, and that's why it didn't do well there, but that doesn't matter. Now that we have this, we can go ahead and get cutting. Now when we are cutting, we are going to be making 3 separate layers. One is going to have just the cup wrap template out of this portion, which is the adhesive with the laminate. The second one is going to be our infusible ink. And as you can see, I have sliced out the offset out of this because I am going to be doing a print and cut for this portion right here with my sublimation printer. You could also be using infusible ink, a different color for that part. And then this we actually don't need. And we can go ahead and get rid of these. So infusible ink sheet, adhesive vinyl, print then cut with my sublimation printer or another infusible ink marker or sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of that out, and then I will see you again here in a moment. Okay, I now have my 3 pieces, and I'm going to just put this right here inside, and it's going to fit perfectly because we did that same offset that we created in there, and so we can press it in one. And then I am going to go ahead and flip this onto here and line it up with our vinyl. As best as I can. Okay. Making sure this sticks together nicely so it won't come apart. Okay. And then I'm going to be using my paper that came with it. And I'm gonna have one on the top and one on the bottom. Okay, here we have our sandwich, as I mentioned. Just putting that into the middle. And then my little pop, 375 for 45 seconds. And now we're just closing it up and letting our Cricut Auto Press do all of the work. Okay, there we go. I let it cool down a little bit. It's super hot when it first comes off. And I have learned that this backer will fuse to whatever blowout paper you use. So make sure that that is bigger than your backing so that it doesn't end up on your mat. And my printer did not like me. I don't know if you saw that earlier. There were some lines through it. So it's not quite as black as I would like it, but that's fine. And now you can just peel this off, and it will be a nice little sticker. And then we can go ahead and apply it to the cup. I saw this really neat little hack where people were using this to like line stuff up on cups. Oops. Let's go ahead and take the lid off. And then it's fairly easy. You just want to like kind of try to line it up. Actually, I'm going to do it like halfway towards the side so that the markings that are on the cup aren't going to like shine through on that white area, which can sometimes happen. Okay, I did go ahead and just stick it on my lap real quick. Okay, now we can go ahead and line this up one side and smooth it out into the other side. Okay, there we go. Could have made it just a tiny bit bigger. I generally have like a slight little white line. I also have a little bit of white at the top and bottom, so it doesn't really bother me too much since the lid is white too. But there you have it. Now your cup is done. Let it cure like you usually do adhesive vinyl for 72 hours before using it, and then this should last you a long time. I have several of these that I've had for probably 2 years and that still look like the day I made them.